Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So dear students, welcome to another session that we have here, and I hope that you will enjoy the session till the end. So in our session, I'd like us to look at something under the short forms, that is the short genres of oral literature. And the short form that we are interested in right now is Proverbs. So earlier on, that is in our previous episodes, we introduced oral literature by looking at some of the long genres that we have. So it is now time to look at some of the short forms or the short genres that we have in oral literature. And just as a reminder, remember that they are called the short forms or the short genres because they are brief. They are brief, and being brief means that they take a very short time to perform as compared or as opposed to the long genres like dilemma narratives or trickster narratives that are in form of stories. So to start, let us look at the definition of proverbs. So by the end of this session, dear student, you should be in a position to define proverbs, give the various classification of proverbs. Again, you should be able to list at least um, 3 or 4 features of Proverbs, and you should also be in a position to give some of the functions of Proverbs, that is by the end of our session. So a proverb, dear student, is a short statement of wisdom accepted by a community as an expression of truth and wisdom. Over time, a community develops short statement that reflects its experience, belief, philosophy of life, worldview, and even sometimes tested opinion. So this statement is passed down the generations in the form of wise sayings or proverbs. So proverbs and wise sayings, dear students, are more or less the same. So talking about classification of proverbs, we have several ways of classifying proverbs. So the classifications are as indicated below. So some of these classifications include, number one, we have alphabetic classification. So in quite a number of books where proverbs are recorded, this is done in alphabetical order. So it is done in the realization that classification of proverb is not as easy, as obvious as that of songs and narratives. So another classification of proverbs, sorry, we have the classification according to the subject matter, the contents, or the themes, that is the issues that are brought up in that is the issues that are brought up by the proverb. So this way, themes would be grouped on what they are talking about. We would therefore have proverbs on poverty, family, patriotism, unity, religion, wisdom, leadership, hard work, honesty, greed, friendship, obedience, etc., etc. So depending on the subject matter, the content, or the theme, you will find the proverbs that you are looking for. So another classification is a classification that is done according to style. So this is a more complex, academic exercise where proverbs are classified according to style they employ. For example, a certain experience, event, or story would be summarized to form a single statement that becomes a proverb. Such is an, anecdote proverb. That is anecdote. I think we can also call them jokes. So according to style, we would have, proverbs like aphorisms, allusions, satirical proverbs, epigrams, and so on. Do not worry about these terms because we are going to expound on them as we continue. So we also have proverbs that are classified according to their functions. So for students, in most cases, this appears to be the most appropriate since it is simple. So we note that a single proverb can serve several functions. So these are some of the functions of proverbs and their classifications. So we have advisory and advising proverbs. That is, these are proverbs that are used to give advice, especially to the young ones. We have a Swahili proverb that says mtaka cha mvunguni sharti ainame. So in English, if we translate that, it means that if you want something, you must work hard for it. So apart from the advisory and advising proverbs, we have cautionary and cautioning or warning proverbs. So these are proverbs that are used to caution or to sound warning. So an example of that is, a proverb that goes, bad company ruins morals. That is used to caution or to warn again the young ones or the young adults. So we have educative proverbs. These are proverbs that inform. So in Swahili, we have one that goes, mtoto umleavyo ndivyo akuavyo, to mean that the child grows up the way you bring him or her up. Then we can also talk about satirical proverbs. So satirical proverbs are proverbs that are in form of satire or mockery. So we have again one in Swahili that is very common. Nyani haoni kundule, meaning that the monkey does not see its ugly behind. So there are also encouraging proverbs. Um, Proverbs like success does not come on a silver plate. So these proverbs encourage, one to work hard. So they are incorporated into ordinary conversation as a sign of eloquence, and they are used in deciding a case. So some of these proverbs express a worldview of a given people of that is all issues of like sickness, poverty, wisdom, and so on. So we also have, such proverbs that we use to summarize a situation as charity begins at home. So another thing worth noting, dear students, is that proverbs also express or capture the contradictions of life. For example, if you want peace, prepare for war, meaning that ain't nothing, that will come easy in life. So it is important to note that a classification according to function sometimes is not rigid, since one proverb can be used for various functions. Yes, we have, proverbs that carry multiple meanings. So on to the next thing, let us look at characteristics of proverbs. So proverbs are usually short in form. That is the first characteristic. So in company with the other genres like songs and narrative, proverbs are short. Again, they are metaphorical or referential. That is, the language of proverbs employs images and pictures to compare experiences. And this means, therefore, that a proverb has literal and metaphoric meanings. So proverbs are also compressed, compact, concise, and pithy. And this means that the message of the proverb is delivered using very few words, but which are loaded with meaning. So another characteristic is that proverbs are fixed or static. This means that the statement does not change with the time and remains the same as it is handed down the generations. So, however, the relevance of the proverbs transcends the boundaries of time and space. So, proverbs are also situational and that is contextual. This means that the nature of proverbs is such that they have to be conceived in a particular context. So one proverb can be used to contradict another, like the case of the one that we looked at. If you want peace, prepare for war. So proverbs have sound patterns. Apart from the characteristics we have mentioned lastly, is that they have sound patterns such as alliteration, assonance, repetition, idiophone, and so on. So these sound patterns make them interesting, memorable, and musical, hence different from ordinary speech. So before we conclude, let's look at some of the functions of proverbs. So the functions are as follows. Proverbs are used to express opinion on situations and behavior. Another function is that they extol what is considered good and acceptable. Proverbs also condemn what is unacceptable. Another function is that they enrich communication by making verbal communication beautiful. Another function of Proverbs is that they are used to state what a community considers as facts of life. Then another one is that Proverbs clearly state the norms of a community. Apart from that, they counsel or advise depending on the context in which they are used. The other functions are that Proverbs educate, they caution or warn, and lastly, they employ images to compare situations and things. So, dear students, that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you for staying with me till the end, and remember to always keep it easy, Limo. Once again, my name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. Until next time, bye.